Hi, welcome back to the trip window. There's this phenomenon, this shared global language spoken not with words, but with the roar of a crowd, the arc of a perfectly weighted pass, the sheer unadulterated joy or despair that follows the ripple of a net. We call it football or soccer, depending on your particular patch of earth. It is, by almost any measure, the planet's sport. And at the heart of this global obsession are its cathedrals, the stadiums. These are more than just concrete and steel structures, they are crucibles of identity, they are theaters of dreams, they are archives of collective memory. They are where history is not just remembered but actively, loudly, and passionately lived out week after week. So today we're embarking on a journey. Think of it as a pilgrimage to 10 of the most significant epicenters of the footballing world. We're going to explore the countries where the sport is woven so deeply into the cultural fabric that it's almost impossible to untangle. Brazil. The name itself evokes a certain kind of footballing poetry. It's the 5-time World Cup champion, the nation that gave us Pelé, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, a production line of genius that has consistently redefined what is possible with a ball at one's feet. Here, football is a vital, pulsating part of the national identity, an art form practiced on beaches, in favelas, and in some of the most colossal stadiums ever built. The Brazilian spirit seems to find its most vibrant expression in the game's samba-like rhythm. It's a passion that is both deeply personal and spectacularly public, a force that can bring the entire sprawling country of over 200 million people to a standstill. And at the heart of this football-obsessed nation stands a monument of almost mythical status, the Estádio do Maracana in Rio de Janeiro. To call it a stadium feels like an understatement. It is a temple. When it opened for the 1950 World Cup, it was the largest stadium on Earth, a concrete bowl that held a reported 200,000 souls for the final. That match, a shocking loss to Uruguay known as the Maracanazo, became a defining moment of national trauma, cementing the stadium's place not just in sporting history, but in the collective psyche of Brazil. It has since been modernized, made safer and smaller, but its soul, its ghosts, and its sheer scale remain profoundly intact. The Maracana is the grand stage, but the story of Brazilian football is written in stadiums across the country. It's the home ground for one of Brazil's most popular clubs, Flamengo, whose sea of red and black supporters, the Nação Rubro-Negra, create an atmosphere of intimidating passion. But the power of Brazilian club football extends far beyond Rio. In São Paulo, you have the fierce rivalries between Palmeiras, with its modern Allianz parquet, and Santos, the club forever associated with the legendary Pelé. These clubs are not just teams, they are dynasties, institutions that represent entire communities and carry the hopes and dreams of millions on their shoulders every time they step onto the pitch. The energy is what defines it all. A Brazilian league match is an assault on the senses, the constant drumming of the torcidas organizadas, the explosion of flares and smoke bombs, the ceaseless chanting that rises and falls with the flow of the game. From the vibrant chaos of Brazil, we travel to a place with a very different yet equally profound relationship with football. England. If Brazil is the game's spiritual home, then England is its ancestral one. This is where the rules were codified in the 19th century. This is where the first leagues were formed, and where the sport evolved from a chaotic folk pastime into the global phenomenon we know today. The English landscape is dotted with stadiums that are not just venues, but historical landmarks. Places where the very traditions of club football were born. The Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff is a ritual, the pre-match pint, a sacrament, and the game itself, a weekly drama of hope, frustration, and fleeting glory. At the pinnacle of this footballing heritage stands Wembley Stadium in London. The modern Wembley, with its iconic 133-meter-high arch, is a futuristic marvel, a cathedral of sport for the 21st century, but it stands on sacred ground, the same site as the original Twin Towers Stadium that hosted the legendary 1966 World Cup final. Wembley is the neutral ground, the promised land for all English clubs, the place where cup finals are decided and legacies are forged. To play at Wembley, to win at Wembley, is the ultimate aspiration, a pilgrimage to the heart of English football history. But the true soul of English football arguably resides not in the national stadium, but in the club grounds. Think of Old Trafford in Manchester, the theatre of dreams. Think of Anfield in Liverpool, in the capital, the modern powerhouses like Chelsea's Stamford Bridge, Arsenal's Emirates Stadium. The rivalries, Manchester United versus Liverpool, Arsenal versus Tottenham, are etched into the social fabric of their cities, watched by a global audience of billions. It's this unique blend of deep-rooted history and modern, hyper-commercialized spectacle that cements England's place near the very top of our list. The game came home, and it built some magnificent houses. So, our journey takes us southward, across the equator, to a nation where football is less a sport and more a foundational pillar of national identity, a relentless, thrumming heartbeat echoing from the streets of Boca to the Andean foothills. To understand Argentine football is to understand a particular kind of passion, a devotion so profound it borders on the sacred. It's a love affair played out in grand theaters of concrete and steel, where the collective roars of the faithful can, it is said, literally make the ground shake. It's a land that gave us Maradona's Hand of God, Messi's impossible artistry, a dichotomy that perfectly encapsulates the country's complex, beautiful, and sometimes maddening relationship with that beautiful game. This is a country defined by its rivalries, none more incandescent than the Super Clasico between Boca Juniors River Plate. The stadiums here are not just venues, they are holy sites officially named Estadio Antonio Vespuccio Liberti. This colossal bowl is the largest stadium in Argentina, a fortress for the national team. It hosted the 1978 World Cup final, a moment of immense national pride and complex political undertones. The soul of Argentine football is also found in the vibrant, intimidating atmosphere of Boca Juniors La Bombonera, or the fiery cauldrons of clubs like Independiente Racing. These are places where the stands are so steep they feel like they're right on top of the pitch, where the hinchas or fans are not observers but active participants, an integral 12th player whose songs and chants provide the unrelenting soundtrack to the drama below. To visit Argentina and not experience a football match is, in a very real way, to miss the country's soul. I give Argentine football culture and the monumental stadiums that house it a solid 4.5 stars. From the raw, untamable passion of South America, we now pivot to the heart of Europe, Germany. Germany is a deep, committed, and astonishingly well-organized marriage. Efficiency and passion here are complementary. German football is famous for its 50+1 rule. It ensures fans retain majority ownership of clubs, preventing billionaire takeovers and keeping clubs rooted in community. This fan-centric model creates a vibrant, inclusive atmosphere. You see it in affordable ticket prices. You see it in massive standing sections, Stehplätze, where hardcore fans create breathtaking choreographies and tifos. You see it in Bundesliga's record-high average attendance. And perhaps no stadium represents this blend better than the Allianz Arena. From the outside it looks like a landed UFO, especially at night. Its skin is made of inflated ETFE panels. Those panels light up in colors, fiery red for Bayern, blue for 1860 Munich, white for the German national team. Inside, that futuristic shell holds a classic football soul. Bayern is the pinnacle, but Dortmund's yellow wall is equally iconic. German stadiums are a masterclass in design, atmosphere, and fan engagement. For that commitment, 5 stars. Our next stop is a place where football is like royalty, a sunny land where the game is played with amazing skill and art that can leave you breathless. Welcome to Spain. Spanish football is a super exciting show with 2 huge clubs whose rivalry is more than just a game, it's about where they're from. This is the land of El Clásico, the huge fight between Real Madrid, FC Barcelona, and there's no grander palace in this kingdom than the Santiago Bernabéu, but the Bernabéu's grand style is matched by the Catalan church of Camp Nou. And then there's the exciting feeling at Atletico Madrid's modern Wanda Metropolitano. Spanish stadiums are stages for the world's biggest stars, places where history is made almost every week. For how grand and important they are, I give the stadiums of Spain 4 stars. So, we're in Italy now, a country where soccer or calcio isn't just a sport. It's more like a really important religion, a huge show played out on a green field. The story of Italian soccer is tied deeply to the country's own story of local pride, artistic flair, and a special defensive skill called catenaccio. Local pride, artistic flair, catenaccio. It's a place where a perfect slide tackle can be cheered as much as a beautiful old statue. And in the middle of Lombardy, in Milan, the city of fashion and money, there's a huge building that shows this passion. It's a giant building of concrete and steel that almost seems to float, with its 11 round towers and red swirly beams. It's a strong, simple masterpiece that has seen some of the most famous moments and toughest rivalries in the game. It's a shared home, a place of comfort and need for 2 of the world's most famous clubs, AC Milan and Inter Milan. San Siro has hosted World Cups, Champions League finals, and countless Derby della Madonnina games, the twice-a-year civil war that stops Milan. In Turin you have Juventus's modern strong point, the Allianz Stadium, a noisy place that has helped the Bianconeri win a lot at home. In the capital, Rome's Stadio Olimpico is another shared space, home to the fierce rivalry between Lazio and Roma. Each stadium is a special container for its city's spirit, from the passionate, loud Stadium of Naples, the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, to the old grounds all over the country. Italian stadiums are like theaters for human stories, places where the beautiful game is played with an amazing sense of style, passion, and tricky tactics. And now to France, a nation whose relationship with football has been a complex, evolving tapestry of brilliance, controversy, and profound social significance. But that all changed in the summer of 1998. At the center of this national catharsis was a brand new stadium that would become the stage for France's greatest sporting triumph. This is the ground where Zinedine Zidane scored 2 magnificent headers to defeat Brazil in the 1998 World Cup final. The legacy of '98 echoes through every corner of the Stade de France. In the capital, Paris Saint-Germain, fueled by immense investment, has turned the Parc des Princes into a glamorous showcase of global superstars. Travel south to the Mediterranean coast, and you'll find the Stade Vélodrome in Marseille, and the modern Groupama Stadium stands as a testament to the sustained excellence of Olympique Lyonnais, all played out in arenas that are as diverse as the nation itself. Our trip now takes us to the far western part of Europe, to Portugal. In the middle of its capital, Lisbon, there's a stadium whose name makes you think of something truly special. The Estádio da Luz, home of Sport Lisboa e Benfica, one of the 3 biggest clubs in Portugal. Before every game, the team's eagle, Vitória, flies around the stadium. That tradition ties the present to Benfica's past, their European Cup wins of the 1960s. Portuguese soccer centers on a 3-way fight. José Alvalade trained Luís Figo and Cristiano Ronaldo, Sporting's academy ethos. Go north to Porto by the Douro River, you'll find the Estádio do Dragão. Porto's fans are fierce, and the club has big domestic and European success. The rivalry between Lisbon and Porto is cultural and political, not just sporting. Visiting these 3 stadiums is a tour of Portugal's passionate, proud, and complicated story. So, we journey now to a place where the air is thin, but the passion for football is anything but. Welcome to Mexico, a nation whose footballing identity is as rich and complex as its history. The stadiums are modern-day pyramids where heroes are forged. And at the heart of this nation stands a monument, the Estadio Azteca. Estadio Azteca, finals in 1970 and 1986. It's the home ground for Club America and Cruz Azul. Beyond the Azteca, Chivas de Guadalajara, with their Mexican-only policy, embody national pride. Their home, Estadio Akron, is a modern marvel built on tradition. And Monterrey, Mexican football is local and global. To understand Mexico, you must stand in the shadow of the Azteca. Our final destination is a small nation with a gigantic footballing heart. We arrive in Uruguay, a country of just over 3 million that has, against all odds, left an indelible mark on world soccer. The birthplace of the FIFA World Cup, first hosts, first champions in 1930. The story of Uruguayan football is La Garra Charrúa, a phrase that captures a spirit of fierce tenacity. If you want the physical embodiment of that spirit, go to Montevideo and stand before the Estadio Centenario. Built in 1930 to host that inaugural World Cup, this isn't just a stadium, it's a historical monument recognized by FIFA. Peñarol Nacional, their Uruguayan Clásico, is one of the oldest, fiercest derbies outside the UK. They keep producing world-class talent. Uruguay may be the smallest nation on our list, but its contribution, centered on the legendary Centenario, is immeasurable. And so, the final whistle blows. On our whirlwind tour of the world's greatest footballing nations, and their magnificent stadiums, from the concrete bowl of the Maracana, we've journeyed through temples of the modern game like Wembley and the Allianz Arena, and stood in the shadow of cathedrals that witnessed the ascendance of gods like Maradona, each stadium a unique vessel for the hopes, dreams, and collective anxieties of millions, each one a testament to the power of a simple game to create community, identity, and moments of shared, transcendent beauty. These places are so much more than just steel and concrete. They are libraries of human emotion, holding stories of unbelievable joy, crushing despair, and everything in between. They are the stages upon which our modern myths are played out. the roar of the crowd at the San Siro, the passionate songs of La Bombonera. I find it endlessly fascinating that we build these enormous structures, these secular cathedrals. So now, we turn the conversation over to you. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey across the globe, exploring these incredible homes of the beautiful game. Until next time, may your team always find the back of the net.